The program presented or submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNNY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNNY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Well, good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock. It is Today with Cachet. Yes, it is. And it is Friday. And we are actually obviously sitting at home. Everyone knows that. I don't have to say that anymore. But anyway, this morning, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to bring in two perspectives on obviously what we've been going through and kind of really how we've kept some type of normalcy in everything. Because obviously during this time, it's been trying on a lot of people, right? It's changes, sudden changes, from going out, from dining out, from family, being, around everyone, not being around some people. So I brought in two perspectives today. I want to welcome this morning, Santiago from Zanti. Zanti, an original. How have you been? How have you been this morning? How are you? Or this afternoon, rather. Yes.
Thank you for inviting us. I love always being at the show. I think this is the second time, but I love being here. Thank you for thinking on us and inviting us.
Well, you're famous because of your commercial on the show as well. Everybody gets to see you all the time. Yes. So, but welcome. So. As well, I want to welcome Margarita Coe back in the studio. She has been on an original as well. Good afternoon. How are you? How are you holding up? You're in Boca, aren't you? Florida.
I am. We're in Florida. We got stuck here, but we're doing good. It's, can't complain. Healthy, happy. So we're doing pretty good.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, thank you guys for being on this morning. So really, I wanted to open it up. I am going bonkers. I can't go out to dinner. I can't go out to lunch. I mean, what's going on? I mean, I want to ask you, Santiago, when you first heard the news that restaurants were going to have to close their doors and no one could go anymore, what was that like to you? What did you think of your business?
It was very, very stressful, no? Because especially we've been open for 7 months. You're at the point of starting to break even, of your operations, they're starting to be smooth. You're starting to have less rotation and people. So suddenly they tell you you're going to have to close. No, so you have a lot of things in your mind since the investors, the people that work for you. We had more than 130 people working at Zanti.
Wow.
And what are you going to do with the clients? How is the to-go going to work? If you're going to be able to do to-go. So it's all. Suddenly everything happened and nobody had a question at that time, no, not even the government. You were fine by yourself and creativity started to come, no? And something I started calling owners of restaurants, no? That we didn't talk as much or they were like your competitors and sometimes you look at them like, oh, look what they're doing. But at that time, we got united because nobody had a question. So we kind of all came together and say, what are we going to do? And I think that was something. So there's a lot of good things that has happened in all this. And I think one of them has been how the restaurants, we've gone together. And also the Texas Restaurant Association, they've been incredible with us. So, but it was a lot of pressure.
Would you say from the community's perspective that people are still ordering to kind of offset the dining, or has it been a significant drop for you?
Of course, it has been a significant drop because you don't have a lot of the sales that you can do in the restaurant, like the bars, the alcohol. But it has changed. Now they have helped you a little bit, the government, to sell alcohol, but it's very limited. Because in your house, you have your wines and you have your alcohol. And So I'm not going to send you a martini. No, so all those revenues and also you don't spend as much money when you have a takeout to your house.
Sure.
So
Sure.
all of the restaurants, as you're going to see, they had to reduce their prices, or they had to come with creative menus like the family meals or package at a very good price for you to put in your house. Also, we had to change our menu because not everything is good for to go, no?
Right. Right.
So we had to think in what things, for example, packaging, no? What packages we're going to use for family meal now, because they're asking you for a family of 4, not individual. And then you will talk to the purveyor, and they did, because everybody was buying. So you get to the point that the purveyor doesn't have the packaging.
Yeah.
So it's just everything goes behind, no? You're asking for chicken, like everybody's starting to buy more chicken and stuff like that. That it's easy to send more than meat, and so I think the customer, from the customer perception, they're going to talk about it, but we were thinking a lot in the customer at that point, and we were thinking on not making money. You're going to talk to a lot of restaurants. At this point, we just want to survive. We want to maintain as much people as possible, making money. Our waiters, when they have that consistent income and suddenly, boom, it goes away, and especially when they win up from tips. So our mind is like, how can we maintain the restaurant? How can we make the restaurant survive? No, one of the managers was saying that I know in the airplanes when they say first put the mask yourself and then put it to your kid. It's kind of like we are right now. We cannot help everybody. Unfortunately, we don't have 130 employees with us, and I had to talk. I talked to each one of them, and I explained them this. Right now, I need to maintain Zanti alive. Once this thing goes over, we're gonna be able to bring you back. No, so I think it has been that. That's the difficult part of it, no? And it's totally a new business for us to go.
Sure.
We were not ready. We were not ready, and the community has been incredible. I think they've been very supportive. Waiting the first days that we didn't knew how to do it, they were waiting for 25 minutes in line.
Oh wow! Okay.
To go.
Well, who wouldn't wait 25 minutes for Zanti's food? You're darn right you would. Okay.
The kids when they're hungry.
But you bring out a very good point, and we were talking a little bit about that. There's so many reasons why people need to continue to support, and one of the reasons is obviously when we go back, we want to make sure these restaurants are still there. We want to make sure that when we come out of all this, that everything's not just closed down and we have nowhere to go. So you've got to continue to support your local restaurants, your local businesses, because you have to create and continue that normalcy so that when you do come back out, they're still alive. You still have somewhere to go. You can't start from scratch.
They say that they're expecting between 25 to 30% of the restaurants to don't open again. No?
Wow.
Talking over here in Woodlands, big names like Brio closed down, Jasper's closed down, and I'm not, especially the mom and pops. Those are in a lot of danger, no? In a lot of danger. So what you're saying, supporting right now your restaurant is not about, and not being that tough. That was another great thing about the community, no? The first 2 or 3 comments that people started putting in Yelp that the food was terrible, and people just
you don't know.
Saying like right now is not the moment to be very
negative. Yeah, we don't need to express our opinions right now. We need to just get behind each other.
So you can talk to the restaurant because it helps us every time we do something wrong, and they tell us it's the best for us to be better. But putting it out there right now, and because not right now, so Yelp, Google, we are competing, and that has been another part of restaurants. But right now, we are surviving, and we're doing the best that we can do. No, so the community. Defending the restaurants from people that started putting these bad comments, I was so impressed. And now how everybody is supporting you, and like tips, you'll see these 30% tips in people.
Yes.
So I'm so impressed with the community.
That's awesome. So now let's kind of switch over, Margarita. There's that side of it, right? And then there's a socialization side that we've lost. So, that has to be from a mental perspective. You know, we all say, get up, it's okay, keep going, keep going. But, you know, mentally, emotionally, anytime a sudden change quickly happens to someone, what would you say from that perspective, what that probably has done to the individuals mentally, and how to kind of overcome that and keep some normalcy in that respect? You know, you could go out now, you could go to the stores, you could go to restaurants, you could go do all. Then overnight, you were told kind of not to do anything.
Right. Yeah. Our lives were completely turned upside down. And so one of the biggest things is getting out of the house, right? You can't really go anywhere per se. So I'm in Boca. We have been shut down way longer than you guys.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. But really getting out and taking a walk around the neighborhood so you see other human beings, because it does get very isolating with your immediate family.
Yeah.
But things like ordering in food and then having a Zoom call with your friends, right? Like a girlfriend's night in, really keeps you connected. And, you know, you guys can all order from the same restaurant and different, different meals and then talk about it. So it gives something to talk about. So finding things to connect over, right? Because right now I know people are working from home, but it is very humdrum. You get up, it's the same house, it's the same people, it's the same stuff. But finding something that you can connect with other family members over and really reaching out to people that you have not talked to in a while, right? Old friends. I reached out to some friends that I haven't spoken to in like 4 years. We had great conversations. But yeah, just finding ways to connect virtually, so that you feel at least a little bit of that sense of connection, right? Because we are social beings. It is so important for us. It's way more important than we realize. Just the daily interactions and taking those away is absolutely mind-boggling, right?
Well, no, you bring out a great point, because just recently, believe it or not, during this time, you talk about keeping normalities and trying to stay focused, keeping a routine, you know, get up, do your workout. It's Friday night. Let's get dinner. Let's go to dinner. But you're just you're calling the restaurant, you're bringing it. Oh, it's Thursday night. Let's have dinner. Let's have dinner with the girls. So you Zoom it. But so the point is, and speaking of that, I just recently started and launched and been working from behind the scenes of my business, and I launched Events by Cachet. And so one of the things that I wanted to say about that is making events at home, and you know, great point, you know, calling up the restaurant, ordering a big feast, having that, you know, I want this appetizer, I want this, set that table up, have that music playing, create the atmosphere, because at the end of the day, a mood and what you create for yourself is all in how you create that for your own self and your own family. If you want to have a dinner outside by the pool, if you want to, you know, get up and but you've got to create a rhythm and a process as if you were doing it on the outside. You're just doing it on the inside. You've got to play with the mind a little bit, right? Keep that going, you know, and create that. I mean, wouldn't you say, Margaret, keep the routine of life?
Yeah, that's huge. I know when you and I were talking back and forth, routine is huge. So people, even how we were saying like, oh, you know, if I don't have to go back to work, I'll be happy staying at home. But, you know, if everybody just kind of rolls out of bed and stays in their pajamas, doesn't practice basic self-care of like, I don't have to brush my teeth. It's teens. I'm talking about teens more than adults, I hope. But I don't have to, you know, take care of myself. And it gets a little depressing, right? Our own individual, like our bodies are neglected. And so.
But I've been hearing, I didn't mean to cut you off, but before we go to our first commercial, I've been hearing a lot of people, there's been like this upswing and people are just clashing with their families. People are getting angry. And I'm thinking back to what you were saying, Santiago, this is not the time. You would think, Margarita, during this time, the last thing you could be doing is hating on someone that's living with you. I don't care if you don't like them. Yeah. Where is the coming together and saying, you know, whether I like you or not, we've got to, you know,
we're in this together
and get out of this.
Exactly.
I mean, Santiago, go ahead. Yeah. I mean, obviously you're at home with the family, right? Go ahead.
I was supporting that right now it's the time to like both of you were saying, to open to being creative and not being that judgmental. And and it's even with your family. No, I think this is a very good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're going to take our first commercial. When we come back, we're going to dig into, I want to understand a little bit about how you adjusted Santiago, and how they did all of the adjustments. And then, Marguerite, you can kind of help us guide through some of the family dynamics and how we can get through that. Okay, we'll take our first commercial. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Could your business use more customers? Could your business use more online traffic? Sponsor with 91.1 The Boss radio station and let our multimedia radio station promote your business. Contact us today at 713-370-5051.
Cupcakes and Bubbles, located at 26400 Kirkendall Road in Tomball, Texas. Cupcakes and Bubbles has the sweetest and most delicious cupcakes for the entire family. From chocolate raspberry, strawberry rhubars, cookies and cream, and the most popular among kids, the s'mores cupcake. Come and enjoy our cupcakes with a glass of your favorite bubbles. Visit www.cupcakesandbubbles.com for the complete list of our delicious cupcakes. Order online through our webpage. DoorDash and Uber Eats is available too. Enjoy life's sweetest moments with Cupcakes and Bubbles.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. It's time to change. If you like country, we play it. If you like pop, we play it. If you like Latin music, we play it. If you like rock and roll, we play it, because no one does fusion music like we do. 91.1 FM, The Boss. Mixing genres and generations, all in one station. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
Turn on your glam today. The Jenna Klein collection is here, elaborated with natural products. Give yourself a compliment with our organic lip glosses in more than 15 shades. With the Jenna Klein Lip Gloss collection, you can hydrate your lips and keep that glamorous look that you need. Turn on your glam. Visit jennaklein.com. And don't forget our skincare collection with natural ingredients that will improve the skin's appearance and prevent visible signs of aging. We have everything you need to achieve smooth and vitalized skin. jennaklein.com. Turn on your glam today.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
It started as a dream. When I was a little kid, I always wanted to have my own restaurant. And it was a dream that finally we had the opportunity to build it here in the Woodlands. And I'm so happy with it.
It's a really authentic Italian food. I try to maintain the most original possible. It's very important. Every day I make my fresh pasta.
Chi mangia bene, mangia italiano. Please come and visit us.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. Follow us at KNLY 91.1 FM.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to Today with Cache. It is Friday, and we have the amazing both Margarita Co. Welcome back, and Santiago. I just say your first name, Santiago. That's all it needs to be said. But Zanti's here in the studio this morning, and we're talking about how we're adjusting. We've actually found some ways to make what's going on actually not so bad. I mean, you were talking about the restaurant and how the community still understands. We've got to understand that we have to support one another to keep everyone alive, right? And so it's so important to get creative with it. And I'll tell you what, I was just thinking, when I was talking about I'd launched my business, Events by Cache, during this time, because what better way, when we get out of here, we're going to want to do all kinds of events. But, I was thinking like events at home, date night, special occasion night, Santiago, call up the restaurant, date night, and you put together something really nice. What do you think of something like that?
That is a great idea that even we were talking with the team. How can we create, for example, right now Santi has you're bored with the kids and there's no more things to do. So we created a make your own pizza package kit, for example.
Oh, how cute. Okay.
So you buy it and it comes with everything, so you can create your own pizza and with instructions. And then this date night, for example, no, I think it's a great idea that we can create a package with the wine that you like and the food that you like, and if you have kids, we can add on over there something so the kids, you can leave them watching a movie. We got you covered with the food and the dessert and everything, and then you can spend a nice, like you were saying. And it will be amazing if the girl goes and dresses like if she was going out for the night, and the guy puts on his suit and you create that ambience. Like I think.
Can I get that package? Can I get that package, please? Can I have that? It is Friday night, Santiago. Also,
I have to create it. You just gave me the idea.
Okay, I'll give you a couple of days. And you could even do that for a birthday girl package. So these ladies, how many in the Woodlands? So many of us, and Delray Beach, Boca Raton, I know. Come on. I've been to both, and I love those places. I was going to move there at one point. So anyway, I know both places are nice. But the point I was getting at is you could put packages together. And the same ladies, the 6 ladies that were going to go out for a birthday, can order that same package, a birthday package, and then go and do it. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But let's talk a little bit about some of the adjustments you've done. So I heard that you've got this curbside service. Talk to us a little bit about curbside and how that has worked for you and how it's going.
So the first thing that you needed to solve was the face-to-face with the client, no? Everybody started going to curbside. That was the first thing all the restaurants we thought about. But for doing that, there's so many things behind, no? Like, for example, when 10% of your sales, 5% of your sales, it's only to go, and suddenly they become 100%. The amount of lines, you only have 1 line or 2 lines. And suddenly you're here trying to find 8 lines for people not waiting, and then even your waiters are not trained to answer the phone and taking orders by phone, no? And you will thought it's the same thing. It's totally the opposite.
Wow.
So first was adjusting, no, the physical things and technology, and it takes time because when you call these technicians and everybody that you wanted to do that, it was like, everybody's calling me, so it's gonna take me 4 days. And you're like, what? But I need it right now. And they are like, everybody needs it right now, no?
Wow.
So creating the signs to people, for example, how those people are gonna know you have a curbside because you didn't have it before.
Yeah.
If you're in a strip mall, for example, you have to talk to your
marketing.
Say like, hey, can I use part of your parking?
Oh, parking. Yeah.
There's things just not just saying I have curbside. No, it's behind it. It's just the kind of bags that you need. For example, we have special bags that we sealed to it, so it's safety. How can we, like our waiters, every time they go to a car and they grab a credit card, they're in danger. How can both the client and and our waiters, no?
Yeah. So you've had to really adjust to that.
A lot. So it has been, and you have to adjust in less than 3 days, 4 days, no? Because when everybody and all your purveyors and everything, because they're having the same problem as you, they're trying to adapt to a totally new client also.
Well, I hope you got some sleep there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So one of the things that has been a big question, and I'm sure you can answer, and then I'm going to jump back over to you, Margarita. But one of the things, Santiago, is the safety. People have questioned, well, wait, okay, so I'm ordering out. So what would you want to say to people out there that have questioned, well, okay, do I order out? How do I? Let's go ahead and nip that one in the butt.
And that's another thing we needed to adapt as restaurants, no? Especially, nobody knew if COVID-19 surviving food or surviving on the packaging. They didn't even know how long. They don't know what temperature. So, you as a restaurant, what we did is we became very strict. The good thing about restaurants is that you already have that going on.
Right.
Without COVID-19.
Very good point.
You're supposed to work as you already had that in your hands.
Very good point.
So the only difference I think here is going on is the face-to-face, no? Because in the kitchen, you're still using gloves, you're still washing and disinfecting the kitchen, sanitizing the kitchen every day.
Yeah.
You're getting to your temperatures. you're putting your containers in safe places, clean containers. So all that, I don't think you have to change a lot. Probably a little bit more. Use your something that changed is we are screening our employees every time they come, they need to answer a questionnaire. Have you been in contact with anybody with COVID-19? If they tell you yes, they have to go home, even if they don't have it. If they have a little bit of temperature, they go home. If they don't feel good, they go home. They don't even come to a restaurant. No, so that is something we've been very strict, and all the restaurants.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, or I'm glad that you addressed that rather, because I think that was something that was talked about, which is well answered. So Margarita, go ahead.
Very controversial is the use of gloves and masks in the restaurant. No, because I have received a lot of comments like, "Why are you not using gloves?" And I want everybody to understand that gloves, they could be better or they could be worse. So you use gloves when you do one specific thing. For example, you don't see a doctor wearing gloves all over the hospital. They just put it on when they're going to make surgery or they're going to examine you.
Correct.
The same is over here. If I have my wearers going out and in with gloves, it's worse than your bare hands.
Because you would collect germs if you're walking around with gloves on all the time.
Exactly.
You only use the gloves when you're about to actually package the food or prepare the food.
Prepare the food. So when you see people coming out without gloves, the good thing that they should be able to, every time they grab a credit card or something, they should wash their hands.
Right.
Because what happens if you put gloves to people, they don't wash their hands because, I have gloves. But gloves also, they get virus and all that. And the face mask, what they were saying is if you're sick, use some, or if you go out. Yeah. The problem with our people, if they're running, you start sweating or they start touching their mouth more if you have a face mask, for example. Sure. So there's so many things that they just tell me, why they don't use gloves or masks? Of course, we need to use masks. We use them, but there's ways to do it and when to do it for it to be safer, no?
Well, so sure. And Santiago, I was saying, who am I, right? But I was saying, what difference was it if I was allowed to go in the grocery store and buy groceries than it was if I went and sat at a table at a restaurant? If I walked into a restaurant and I came in and I was with me and maybe one or two other people, and we went and sat at our table and we were told to just sit at our table and eat. We were not allowed to mingle with any other outside people around us. We got up with the three people and we left out the door. What difference was that than me going into HEB that I've been doing nonstop and getting groceries? So when they closed the restaurants down, I don't know that I could agree with that process. How do you close a restaurant down, but you leave a grocery store? Well, you have to eat. Well, okay, it's the same difference, right? So I don't think they looked into that quite well.
Is that in HEB you don't talk as much because that's why they make you go alone. So one of the ways this thing goes from one person to another one is when you talk or when you talk, everybody, I don't know how to say it, you speed a little bit. Yeah. And if you are in a closed area, that's when you can get infected. So when you're in a restaurant, you're talking, you're eating, there's saliva kind of all over the place, even if you don't.
Okay.
So that's what you can get affected.
Okay. Well, thank you for helping me. Okay.
No, in HEB, you are by yourself. You don't talk as much. And over there, you can wear in a restaurant, you're eating, you cannot wear your face mask.
No, heck no. That's not going to work. So Margarita, we're trying to get through all this and, people are at home. And like I said earlier, even though we're saying be strong, what would you say are three things that are some tips people can do? We know now, keep the event side, keep your fun, order your food, do that, keep that normalcy in that regard. But what are some of the things they could do? Because the reality is people are in their homes. I'm hearing people are going crazy. Their domestic violence is going up, murders. What's going on? What do we do? What do we tell people?
So it's a little bit crazy. You mentioned domestic violence. I don't know what your stats over there are. Over here, domestic violence and child abuse, unfortunately, is up like over 40%. Wow. And that happens very frequently. So when we hit things like Christmas break, spring break, right, when everybody's at home. Yeah. And the reason that happens, not to put a damper on this, but the reason that happens is because you are at home. Everybody's at home. There's nowhere to run, right? Yeah. You can't run away from your problems. And so I'm going to veer a little bit in terms of talking about parents and couples, right? Yeah. From that perspective, this is a great opportunity for people to really see what's not working, and how they deal with their problems.
Yeah.
Right. So you said there's people that are getting angry, but angry looks very different in some people. For some people, angry looks like shut down and not talk. Right. And so you'll see men and women deal with things differently. So women will start nagging, yelling, right, get anxious, start doing things. Men will sit back on the couch with whatever, a TV show or video games and be like, hold on, whoa, and shut down. Right. Yeah. And so one of the ways to really get through this together, it's not funny, but folks are rushing to get a divorce right now. I'm like, this is not the time, right? Stick together. Like we were saying, they're blowing up. I have friends who are attorneys. They're like, my phone won't stop ringing. Relax, people. Just give it a couple of weeks. But one of the big things is to really understand what your partner needs and what you need, and sit down at the table and talk about it. Say, hey, I really need 20 minutes of me time, right? Right now, I'm really stressed out. And the way I'm dealing with that stress is I need to sit on the couch and just be a hobo. Like, I just need to sit on the couch and not do anything. Not change from my sweatpants. And that's what's making me feel safe and comfortable. And honoring that, right? Just because just because one person is an overproductive individual when they're stressed, that doesn't mean the other person is. And both of those are okay. So allowing the people in your family to be who they are and manage how they can, because imposing what works for you on somebody else is not going to make the situation better. It's going to make it a lot worse, not only for you, but for them as well. So I guess I kind of wrapped that up, those 3 points, into one of that: honoring, the people you live with, allowing yourself the space and time, taking time for yourself, taking care of yourself. Make sure you work out, right? Get quiet time. So that's essentially kind of a couple of tips there. Yeah.
No, I hear you. I mean, the reality is, again, it goes back to when you were in school, when you were at an office and you worked with a team of people you didn't care for, or when you coexisted, you made it happen. Did you go throwing tantrums at the office? Did you if you were in school and you acted up, what happened? You were told to go to the principal's office, or we've got to be adults about the situation. Again, a lot of it is people were already going through these things, or they already had issues. And because now that they're, right next to each other, it's exasperated, and so it explodes. But the routine of life, you've got to continue. You got to call up the restaurant. You got to go have a date night. You got to go for a walk at the park. You got to sit with the kids. You got to really find creative ways to manage your life through this time, because like you said, it's a matter of time before you're going to get back out. And it's not blowing up, not going crazy before we actually let back out. We're going to get back out again. It's just give yourself time, is what you're saying.
Also, boundaries. You said, like, we get if we wouldn't act a certain way, right? So I've got a teen homeschooling and I've got a toddler, right? And so let me tell you something, things that come up, I'm like, you would never do this in school. Both of them, I'm like, you would never do this in school.
So how are you getting away with this? But anyway, so we're going to take another quick commercial, and when we come back, we're going to dig some more into some of the ways that we can be creative during this period. We'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Cupcakes and Bubbles, located at 26400 Kirkendall Road in Tomball, Texas. Cupcakes and Bubbles has the sweetest and most delicious cupcakes for the entire family. From chocolate raspberry, strawberry rhubars, cookies and cream, and the most popular among kids, the s'mores cupcake. Come and enjoy our cupcakes with a glass of your favorite bubbles. Visit www.cupcakesandbubbles.com for the complete list of our delicious cupcakes. Order online through our webpage. DoorDash and Uber Eats is available too. Enjoy life's sweetest moments with Cupcakes and Bubbles.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
Today with Cachet, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 to 10:30. 91.1 The Boss. Watch me live, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget, 91.1 The Boss. Today with Cachet.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. Follow us at KNLY 91.1 FM.
Are you great with people? Do you have professional experience? 91.1 The Boss wants to interview you as a sponsorship promoter. Contact us today at 713-370-5051.
Turn on your glam today. The Jenna Klein collection is here, elaborated with natural products. Give yourself a compliment with our organic lip glosses in more than 15 shades. With the Jenna Klein lip gloss collection, you can hydrate your lips and keep that glamorous look that you need. Turn on your glam. Visit jennaklein.com. And don't forget our skincare collection with natural ingredients that will improve the skin's appearance and prevent visible signs of aging. We have everything you need to achieve smooth and vitalized skin. jennaklein.com. Turn on your glam today.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
It started as a dream. When I was a little kid, I always wanted to have my own restaurant. And it was a dream that finally we had the opportunity to build it here in the Woodlands. And I'm so happy with it.
It's a really authentic Italian food. I try to maintain the most original possible. It's very important. Every day I make my fresh pasta.
Chi mangia bene, mangia italiano. Please come and visit us.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Today with Cachet. We are talking all about how to manage yourself in these sudden changes that are going on with COVID-19, actually. And to this morning, or I keep saying this morning because I used to do the show at 10, it's 12. This afternoon, I have in the studio both Margarita Coe, who is a lifestyle coach / counselor, and we also have Santiago with Zanti's in the house, talking all about the wonderful restaurant and how he's had to adjust to the new changes. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you, Santiago, is you said the community has been very supportive. Obviously, you know, the curbside lines and everything, which is amazing. But I know you guys just work back. I mean, we work together and supporting each other as well. But y'all give back like a lot. And I'm assuming during this time, there's been a lot of need out there. Have you found that an outlet to give back during this period as well?
So that is a very good point, Kasia. Thank you for touching that. Restaurants, I think, in every state in the United States, they're one of the business that they give a lot back to the community.
Yeah.
At this point, not only the restaurants are suffering, everybody that depends from the restaurants, no? And there's a lot of charities that they depend on a restaurant helping them, like you used to be. And at this point, because we're losing money and we're surviving, like I told you, with the airplane, we cannot help anymore. So the governor and the Texas Restaurant Association, they came with a great idea to helping the restaurant and the charities. So what you can do, and you're gonna find it, I don't know if in Florida and like that, but I'm sure that in Texas, in all Texas you have it. And almost all of the restaurants, they have this program where you buy a meal for 6, and it's at a great price. They ask us to put it at a...
I see.
You buy that, so you're helping the restaurant, and also that meal goes to a family or to a charity that it's in need. And
so let's restate that. So basically, if someone wants to order online, and it's a program that's set up on your website that they can go in and order as many as they want, I'm sure. Yeah, and they goes to us, and you can select, or you just order, and then y'all choose one of sorts.
And you can do the Texas Restaurant Association, and there's a link, and you're gonna be able to see all the restaurants that are participating.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Or if only, like, if one person donates one of those meals, imagine the big help we can do for the restaurant and for all these people. Unfortunately, I don't know if people they haven't found out a lot about this. It hasn't moved that much.
Oh, I see.
So I'm so glad to use your radio and your program to tell people to do
about it. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely make sure that I put that part of the clip in there and get that advertisement out about the meals program. Definitely.
Yes. And I'm gonna give you in commercials, I'm going to look for the website, so the link, so I can get it. Yeah. Perfect.
So let's now, obviously we've adjusted and we've kind of talked through some ways about how to be creative and still having Zanti at home. And you're going to come up with date night and birthday package. So So everybody's excited about that. But so obviously we're slowly seeing ourselves go back to normal. They're letting up. I know today's the day that they're doing, is it pickup delivery from stores that you can order and shop, and again, so things are going to eventually start going back to going back into the restaurant. What type of expectations do you want the public to give you guys, and kind of, I mean, obviously the door is going to open, and we don't know exactly how that's going to go. But what expectations, and what way do you see forward based on some of the changes that you've adapted to? Do you see any staying, and what does it look like in your projection when we return back?
So yeah, that's a very good question. We're waiting first for the restaurant, for the governor to tell us when and how can we open. No, because there's people that are saying, okay, we can open, but the tables they're gonna have to be so apart. Then there are restaurants that if you take a lot of their tables, they're not gonna be able to stay on business, no, because every seat it's worth a lot of money. So if they tell you, oh, you have to have a table, but every 6 feet have another one, and then you're losing a little bit of the fun of going out. So it's kind of like staying at home. You're not talking to people. So that's one. We don't know how they're gonna make us.
How they're gonna do that?
Because that's an idea they were telling me about. The second one, and that's great, that if people can tell us what are they thinking, what do they want to do. We don't know if people are gonna be afraid to go out, or they're gonna say like, I wanna get out of my house, I'm going to a restaurant. Sure. So I don't know if the restaurants, we need to be prepared 100% with a lot of inventory of our food, alcohol, 100% of our staff. It's kind of, we are in this discussion as do we have all our staff and then nobody comes because people are still afraid of getting the coronavirus, or they're not gonna care and they're gonna say, I don't care, I'm just gonna go out.
You're not sure of how they're gonna react. You're not sure. Yeah.
What I think is gonna happen, I think the healthiest, and so we all know that if you're over, I think it's over 55, 60, that's when you start being, those people is, when you get to that age, I think that's when you have to still be a little more careful, no? What I think is people...
Well, that's not too, hopefully I won't see that. I have a birthday on Monday, so won't be seeing that number yet. I still can come. Not quite yet. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So I think that young people are not going to care. It's not that they're not going to care. They're going to take the precautions. They're going to be a little bit more, probably they're not going to hug as much or like that.
Correct.
But I think we're going to go out. I think we cannot wait to go out to our restaurant. We're kind of going to feel a little bit like I'm not going to get it.
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, even though you said people kind of can spit more on each other in a restaurant, I still kind of had a feeling that if I can, be in the HEB, I can kind of sit in a restaurant. Maybe I don't need to be at a bar setting with 100 people right now. But if I walk in a restaurant with my group that I walked in with, we sit at a table and we eat and we walk out, I don't see that being too far-fetched. So I'm hoping that Monday when Mr. Governor Abbott gets on my birthday, I hope he gets up there and says, one of the things is to let restaurants slowly start opening back. And when they open back, maybe it's up to the restaurant's discretion about how the capacity, maybe it's a capacity thing, and the restaurant can work to decide, how many people he's going to, reservations. Maybe we go to reservations. You set a reservation, and if the restaurant has full reservations, that means you can't go, and you can control that amount of people that are allowed in your restaurant. I mean, there are ways of doing this. We got to get the economy back going as well. I mean, there's
5 points they're asking us to pay attention when we open. One is the utensils, the tables and like that. So something we're going to have to do as restaurants, like you say, we did that before, but not a lot of restaurants. So every time someone stands up, we're going to have to sanitize with a special sanitize it has to be approved that kills this virus. So every time we're going to have to sanitize the table. Second one, we're going to have to screen our workers. Before that, you couldn't do that. Right now, the law is permitting you to screen, and not they don't have to work if they have a lot of things. No. Then 3, like you say, how how we're going to control the amount of people going into a restaurant and in the time. Not reservations is a great idea. Distance between the tables is a great idea. So it's all these things that the restaurants are going to...
Yeah, we can do this ourselves. We don't need all these officials. We'll figure this out.
Figure this out.
I mean, come on. It's not rocket. I got this. Okay.
Human beings, yeah, right?
I'll just handle it for Texas. So Margarita, I'm sorry, I'll let you do Florida. Margarita, so the other thing I wanted to ask was, we've been saying manage, but again, there are so many people out there who need someone to talk to. And because there are real issues going on, whether we want to accept it or not, and we need to solve them. We need to have an outlet. So I'm assuming you're open to kind of still manage and help people during this period. And can you kind of give a window to someone out there listening, how they could still get a hold of you and still maybe work through some of the stuff to adjust if they can't do it on their own?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I took everything online. All of my folks are online, and it's actually pretty great. So I work with couples. So you're in your own environment. It's really comfortable, right? All of the interventions are, I'm here and you're at home. Everybody's safe, but we're still working on our stuff. And what's great is you could continue working on your stuff, right? In session, you kind of come in and then there's this natural break of, okay, well, session's over and you have to go home in the same car together. Really awkward usually. But here you're in your home already. And so you could just continue the conversation. So it all opens up a lot of great opportunities.
Well, I would think right now would be great because if people are at home and they're having a lot of different things go on, this is the time to just pull up Skype, pull up Zoom and say, okay, hey, if it's because there's a lot of things going on and people you can address it right away.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's great. So on my site, like my folks that are already, I've done an intake for, they literally go on my site. I have a book here button and it shows you when you can see me, sometimes that very same day, right? And they can say, oh, I only need to see you for 30 minutes today. Okay, great. If we have that rapport built, no problem. You've got one problem, we can go through that one problem, see how we can help you. With parenting too, right? Some folks are really struggling because it's hard, whether it's teenagers or little kids. And so really just hopping on a call, whether it's with me or another professional saying, here's what's happening. We have an insight that you may not have and tell you, well, if you change this thing and this thing, you might have a completely different experience. Right. And so, a lot of resources out there. Again, if you go to my site, there's a lot of information in terms of like, you can just schedule today.
What is your site? Can you get that real quick? Yeah.
Sure. It's www.margaritacoghan.com. So, and
I'll put that up. I'll put that up.
Folks. So if you find a group or anything like that, there's a lot of groups that are online. So just regular group counseling that you do, support groups. I have a free mom support group that goes on every Wednesday.
Oh, very nice.
Charged to support the mamas out there. And
very nice. Very nice. So Santiago, very good points, Margarita, because at this time, I can only imagine people definitely need to reach out to you. And I'm going to put your website up for people who didn't get that. Santiago, what is Zanti's website for people out there who want to do their online ordering? It is Friday. Hello. Better get it in early. Is there and let me ask this real quick before we go to commercial. Let's say, because it is a high demand on you guys right now, would you suggest that people, if they know they want to order for Friday, go ahead and order on Monday, online, Tuesday? Well, how soon can they put their orders in for their planning?
They can do it 2 days before. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But for example, the restaurants, their rush hour is going to be between 5:30 to 7 always.
Okay.
So you're going to have to wait in the phone a little bit more. So probably you can call in the morning. That's a very good idea. And also it help us to be better. So you can call in the morning and say, hey, I want to do this meal and I will go pick it up at this time, no? Or delivery. We have free delivery with our waiters and their cars.
Heck, there you go.
Insurance, also the insurance company, they're helping you to put your waiters in their cars. There's a lot of things. Their car needs to be clean, and there's so many things that are behind it. But we're using our waiters to do free delivery, for example. So that's a very good idea. If you don't want to stay in the phone waiting for 10 minutes, 5 minutes at rush time, just like waiting for a table, you can call in advance. make your order of the food and say I will be at 4, and I will be at 4 to pick it up. So
Awesome.
that was the restaurant, and it's easy to plan, no?
I'm going to do a 2-minute or 1-minute commercial because we didn't have one because I just keep talking. So we'll do it real quick and we'll come right back.
Follow us at KNLY 91.1 FM.
Cupcakes and Bubbles, located at 26400 Kirkendall Road in Tomball, Texas. Cupcakes and Bubbles has the sweetest and most delicious cupcakes for the entire family. From chocolate raspberry, strawberry rhubarbs, cookies and cream, and the most popular among kids, the s'mores cupcake. Come and enjoy our cupcakes with a glass of your favorite bubbles. Visit www.cupcakesandbubbles.com for the complete list of our delicious cupcakes. Order online through our webpage. DoorDash and Uber Eats is available too. Enjoy life's sweetest moments with Cupcakes and Bubbles.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. It's time to change. If you like country, we play it. If you like pop, we play it. If you like Latin music, we play it. If you like rock and roll, we play it, because no one does fusion music like we do. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
Turn on your glam today. The Jenna Klein collection is here, elaborated with natural products. Give yourself a compliment with our organic lip glosses in more than 15 shades. With the Jenna Klein lip gloss collection, you can hydrate your lips and keep that glamorous look that you need. Turn on your glam. Visit jennaklein.com. And don't forget our skincare collection with natural ingredients that will improve the skin's appearance and prevent visible signs of aging. We have everything you need to achieve smooth and vitalized skin. jennaklein.com. Turn on your glam today.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
It started as a dream. When I was a little kid, I always wanted to have my own restaurant. And it was a dream that finally we had the opportunity to build it here in the Woodlands. And I'm so happy with it.
It's a really authentic Italian food. I try to maintain the most original possible. It's very important. Every day I make my fresh pasta.
Chi mangia bene, mangia italiano. Please come and visit us.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
No, I didn't know. I don't. Let's see. 1 second. So are we back? I'm a little confused, guys, because I thought we were talking and we were commercial. So who knows? Let's just keep talking. So the kids. I know we've got about 8 minutes left. The kids. We spent a little time kind of talking about that. But the kids are homeschooling now, and obviously they were told they weren't going to go back. School year's ended for this year, and what would you say to parents? I know it's been difficult for a lot of parents adjusting to having to be teachers when they didn't want to be teachers, and just kids as a whole. Let's speak a little bit on the kids side and how they can maybe look at some tips in managing both the parents with the kids and then the kids with the parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's a little bit different if we're talking about younger kids, right? So let's say, so I'm not even going to talk about kids below 6. That's a whole nother thing. They just need a lot of love, a lot of hugs, a lot of consistency. That's it. You're good there. Let them play. Try not to do more than like 5 hours of TV a day. It's pretty extreme, but that's how it's going.
So let the kids under 6 play. Okay.
Yeah, essentially. So over 6, 6 to about 10. I think it's really give them structure, right? Know what you expect from them, but also don't go crazy. I have parents telling me, oh, we have, 6 hours of worksheets per day. And honestly, they're not going to miss it.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to.
Right, they're not going to do it. But the thing that's happening is the parents are forcing them to do it. And so now you have kids fighting with parents. And parents, just keep it light, have them do stuff, make them use their brain. If you have the space and time, right, because people are working from home. So both my husband and I work from home. So we can't do all this hands-on learning experiences. No, here's what you need to know. If you would like to be creative, here's what you can do. If they choose not to do it, don't stress. Do not stress yourself out. Take care of yourself. Keep the kids alive. Keep their brains working as much as you can. Keep them active. For the teenagers, this is a really good time for them to take responsibility for their own stuff. Check in with them, right? Hey, did you go to class? Yes, great. What did you learn? Okay, do you have anything you need help with? How can I help? Do you want my help, right? And open that conversation of how much of me do you want, while also placing the expectation of, yes, you do have to go to school. These kids are doing this funny, my daughter was telling me they'll put up a picture of themselves on their phone against the camera and not go to class. They'll sit there playing video games. So
they've become creative, haven't they, during this time? Of course. Of course. Yeah.
So making sure, they show up to class, making sure you check in on them. But the rest of it is really, they're teenagers. They're figuring stuff out. Let them slip. Let them, test their boundaries, but also enforce that kind of loving relationship.
Well, because everybody's going through a tough time right now. Sure. This is not the time to be, drill sergeants. This is the time to love, to be open-minded, to massage the situation. They're not going to not be intelligent because they didn't get this period of school, as long as you're giving them something, right? I mean, come on. But so we've got about a couple minutes. I'm just going to let you two. So Santiago, tell everyone again, they can order online, your website, what you would want everyone to know, and then we'll switch it to you. You give your website again, Margarita, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Cache. Thank you, Margarita. The website of Zanti is zanticucina.com. Over there, you're going to find all our promotions. We have a lot of packages. We have a mom package coming up that we didn't know if we were going to be open or not. So we're creating this amazing package for the moms with a great pricing wines and food that she will love. And yes, continue supporting the local restaurants. Continue not being understanding that this is a new business for us. We're trying to get as better as possible. Trusting them. I think most of the restaurants, they're being clean. They're trying to be sanitized. They're screening their people. They're being very conscious on for you to be safe and getting those meals safer. And thank you everybody for supporting us, and it's incredible.
Well, I want to say, Zanti, you're doing some amazing marketing. Your pictures, your post, every time I see another meal, I'm like, oh, I want that. I want that. I want that. So you're definitely getting the message out there. You're definitely posted in marketing.
Thing we needed to learn, like every time we want to put a new menu.
Yeah.
How can you make everybody know? Because they don't come here.
You do amazing with that, okay? You do amazing. I sit here and now, of course, I'm located in the Houston area, and I'm sitting there going, I don't think I'm going to drive down there because, your pictures are amazing. The food there is amazing. I love Zanti's. I love you guys. You guys are so amazing. Everyone needs to know the owners of the restaurant are so good. Great family, great group of people. So I'm so happy to be aligned with you guys. And Margarita, real quick, go ahead. You've got your 2 minutes.
Yeah. So basically, if you need help, reach out, whether it's me or somebody else. You could find me at margaritacogan.com. Again, there's a free mom support group. I've got other groups going on like DBT groups, etc. So it's business as usual, just from your living room. Give yourself some grace during this time, right? One of the biggest things is we've got this whole thing going on of you have to accomplish all of these things, you have to come out this amazing human being afterwards. And I'm not aiming low, but I am encouraging you just take it easy and survive and take care of yourself during this time and find the support that you need. There's so many counselors available online, different price points, right? If you ever need support, find someone for the help and get it.
Well, thank you. Thank you both. And I really appreciate you guys. Y'all know that we'll get through this. We will get through this, and we will be stronger for it. So have a happy Friday. You got to get to work. You got some orders to fill. And you got some calls to help some people. And thank you. So have a great one, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, Margarita. Thank you, Kashay.
Bye bye.